The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for the Diagnostic Trading Hour with your host, Darrell Martin. Now, Darrell Martin.
All right, folks, welcome on here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. My name is Darrell Martin, and I am your host today. And here at the Diagnostic Trading Hour, we like to talk about how to maximize leverage, minimize risk, and be one step ahead of the markets. If you got any questions, feel free to give me a call today. You can reach me right here at 1-877-927-6648. And just to remind you, we got our Tiger Dollar Holiday Special going on right now over at TFNN. So hop on TFNN.com, click on the Tiger Dollar Holiday Special, get a 25% bonus match on your Tiger Dollars. They never expire, they are transferable, and they're going to match your donation, give 10% of that to the Salvation Army in your name. So it's a great way for you to save money right now, save 25%, give 10% away to help people in need for the holidays, and basically everybody wins. So hop on over there, Tiger Holiday Special, just click on that, and choose the amount that you want to take advantage of with the discount and the donation that's already included where we match that in there. And like I said, we like to maximize leverage and minimize risk. How do we maximize leverage and minimize the risk? We hop on over to Nadex. So if you don't have a Nadex account, hop on over to Nadex.com today. You'll get that link right there, right on the homepage of TFNN.com. Everything that you want to access is right there. And you can go in and just click on the Nadex banner on the right side. Once you've done it, there's two places you're going to want to go. Really, there's three. So, number one, get a demo account. Go over here to Our Products, click on Demo Account, and once you click on Demo Account, fill in your username, your first name, your last name, phone number, email address. Okay? They'll send you a password in a few seconds, and you'll be able to access it. So, before commercial break comes up, you could have access to a demo account. So, what about a live account? Well, and by the way, demo accounts are going to give you $25,000 of funded money. It's almost the exact same as live. There's small little differences, not enough that's really going to matter for you to understand how it works. And then you go on over to live and click on create account. And with as little as, it's only $100 to fund a live account. And you can go from start to funded in as little as 5 minutes. So literally, again, before we even go to our next main break, you'll be able to hop on and you'll be able to have a live funded account. So definitely suggest you hop on there. What is Nadex? Nadex has binaries. Nadex has spreads. And with Nadex, you're actually able to go on and you're able to trade for as little as $20, $50, $100, and you can't get stopped out. I mean, you don't have to put up $500. You don't have to put up $5,000 to trade the futures market. And you only could put up $50 or $100, and you get the leverage in your favor. You're still getting that massive leverage, but it doesn't cut you in the other direction because your risk is stopped, and no matter how far it goes against you, like I said, you can't get stopped out of the trade. And it's a beautiful thing. It is one of the best ways to trade. So once you got that, you're going to want to try to figure out exactly how does it work? What do you do? How do you put it all together? And that's where I come in. I'll help you out on that. Go ahead and check out the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer. It's more than the analyzer. It also includes tutorials on how to trade Nadex binaries, tutorials on how to trade Nadex spreads. You have access to Ask Me Unlimited questions in there. You go in the help desk. You can ask all the questions that you want. And you get access to my deviation levels every single day. So I put them up there every day. You can access them. And the deviation levels are insanely accurate. They go in, and what I do is I pull the implied volatility out of options, which is the expected movement that the market is built into the market. So it's what the market, how far the market says the market's going to move. And you will just be floored when you see how well it works. But you'll be able to hop on there. You get 2 weeks, free access, no risk. Try it out. And if you want to trade Nadex, then let me help you get started fast so you can make the most of that 2-week demo trial they give you. Go ahead and get a 2-week trial over here on the Diagnostic Trading scanner as well. And like I said, it's not just the scanner. It's the scanner, the deviation levels, and the tutorials, and access to ask me all the questions that you want. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's figure out where the market is today. All right, we got the S&P is basically flat on the day. Just up a couple ticks. Everybody's waiting on those big ADP numbers to come out. Or not ADP, they came out yesterday, but the big unemployment numbers, the employment rate, all that's coming out, and the non-farm payrolls and FP. So all that's happening tomorrow, and it's just sort of wait and see what happens. And, of course, the next fiscal cliff announcement, whatever that's going to be. So we got the S&P up a point right now. We got the NASDAQ up 11. We got the Dow up 5. And we got the Russell up 50 cents. Over on gold, we got gold up $5 on the day. We got copper is down about 1% right now. We got silver down about up about a third percent. It's not too major right there. We got corn. Corn's moving a little bit today. We got down 9 points. That's that's a decent little move right there. It's a 1% move down. We got soybeans. It's only up $1.75, pretty flat on the day right now. We got oil down $1.88. So $1.88 down on oil, and that's a massive move. So that's a 2% move for you right there. So you got to be loving the oil move down days like that. We were checking out oil earlier this morning on a webinar. We were talking about that. And over on natural gas, we got natural gas. It's pretty flat, which is pretty rare. But it's had definitely its share of moves, moving 1, 2, 3, 4%, a lot more than not lately. And you got euro dollar down right now 100 pips on their interest rate announcements, and you got the pound dollar also down 43 pips. We're going over Aussie dollar, showing some strength, up 27 ticks right now. You got the U.S. yen down 9. You got the U.S. franc up 69. You got the U.S. Canadian basically flat on the day. And we got bonds and everything still ticking up and across the board there, the treasuries. So that's where the market is. That's where it's sitting right now. What do we got coming up on the fundamentals that you need to be aware of? And I'm going to be out for a couple days here, so I want to make sure I do get you caught on up. And looking on over, we got today. Let's do a quick recap, and then we'll walk right into tomorrow. So last night, what all happened? Let me open up some charts here. We'll talk about this and sort of just go through it. And just some of the quick summaries on what's been happening with all the announcements that were coming out. All right, so let's start it on off. We got the Aussie dollar. Well, the Aussie dollar, like I said, it led the way on the announcements last night at 7:30. We can go in here, and we'll pull it up. And I think we had a little news announcement there. I don't know about you, but yeah, I'd say that's a news announcement. About 40 solid ticks in a matter of a couple minutes. And that was the employment change report. So go Australia. They're actually getting some employment going. Their unemployment rate dropped from 5.5 to 5.2%. And their employment change, they thought it'd just go by 0.2 thousand, went up by 13.9 thousand. So a great report came out. I was actually on watching as that was going on. I was pretty excited, so that's a good thing. And so Australia going very solid, very strong, and of course the politicians taking all the credit. And it stayed pretty strong throughout most of the day. So even with that pullback, it went ahead and pushed up a little bit further, and it's knocking right on those deviation levels. We'll talk about those in a little bit later in the show. And so we move on over to what happened last night. We got the franc, so let's go ahead and check out the franc. It had a little report that came out last night. It came out at 3:15 in the morning. And that'd be 2:15 our time. Really didn't have a big effect. It dropped the franc a little bit as the CPI number was negative. And so it did drop down, gave the dollar a little bit of strength. But by the end, the dollar just went ahead and rallied right against the franc, and it moved on up. But, I mean, it did give it a little down push, but it was almost a non-event. You're talking, 20 ticks. So off the CPI number. And I'm sort of surprised it went a little bit worse than that. But, CPI just hasn't really moved it a whole lot at all lately if you go back and look at the historical reports on it. Hop on over, we'll check out the pound, but you could have grabbed 20 ticks. 20 ticks, I mean, at $10 a tick, it's going to be a couple $100 trade. Let's hop on over, check out, we got the asset purchase facility and, of course, the official bank rate being the big part of that over in Britain. So their Fed funds rate, you could say. And so that happened this morning at 7 a.m., 6 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Time there. And so zooming on back and out, getting you caught up across what's going on throughout the world. And that's why I love futures and forward, because with futures, man, you can look at everything. We got 7 a.m. So 7 a.m. right here, bank rate expected to be 0.5, released at 0.5. Asset purchase facility, $375 billion, came in at $375 billion. Not a surprise there. It's basically done that constantly. So with that, basically Britain's doing nothing to strengthen their currency, so therefore it weakens the currency. And basically doesn't stimulate their economy in any way. Therefore, they went ahead and dropped the dollar gained against the pound. And it's pretty much gained, ever since. And then if we hop on over and check out the euro dollar basically had the same demise come on its way. And it came up with this minimum bid rate at 7.45. So we can see right here, getting a little chop going on and going into it. This is pretty much whenever, all the other reports are coming out. We got the 7 a.m. report and the little British report starting to have a little bit of impact. Then also that minimum bid rate comes out. It comes out at 7.45, and this thing's just starting to swing up and down. I mean, you're getting 20 ticks up and down, just boom, 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 going on. And then the report comes out right here at 7.45. When it comes out, market thinks about it for about 2 seconds, and then it decides it's going to go ahead and just let it loose. And then the ECB press conference happened at 8:30, and market wasn't exactly impressed. It actually stopped and waited for that press conference. That press conference comes out. Yeah, that wasn't exciting either. So they went ahead and dropped the euro even further, and the euro basically just got pounded today. So that's your euro summary. And unemployment claims, we got those right here in the United States of America. And looking on over here, we got the unemployment claims coming out at 8:30, 7:30 Central Time. So we see that number come out. And, it was big. It was huge. But unemployment claims has sort of backed off a little bit, especially on the week of NFP, so non-farm payrolls. And anyway, so 7:30 it comes out, and it actually comes in better than expected. Comes in at 378 or 370,000 on an expectation of 378. Well, that should make the market go up. Well, then the market goes down. And so if you're in there trading, the market just did a head fake on you. It dropped basically almost 3.5 points on the S&P. Just bam. And then it decided it would go up on the news. And now it's basically a little bit flat, still a little bit up. If you're in Nadex, you did not get stopped out if you were placing that trade. So if you went long, you're like, oh, that's good. This actually would have been a great trade for you if you're trading on Nadex. Because check this out. Okay, you get in, or you wait. The announcement comes out. 370,000. Well, that's good news. Okay, so you either hop in immediately, or if you waited. I mean, I can't see you waiting that long. But let's say you hop in, shortly thereafter, it goes against you. You're like, that's not good. I'm down, whatever. But then all of a sudden the market goes back up, and you're actually able to take the close, take the trade out for a profit. So, it's a beautiful thing when you can hop in and you're not worried about getting stopped out. You have time to be right. And the fundamental said you should be right, and nothing else has happened that says you should be wrong. And so therefore you're going to go ahead and go with it. And you did, and it would have worked out well. And I mean, this is just some crazy stuff. Look at this. I mean, come on. You're just asking to get stopped out when the market's doing this. Okay, 3 points up and down. And but again, trade Nadex, you don't have to worry about this. It doesn't freak you out. You can pick your direction, place your trades, and have a lot more confidence and a lot less stress. We also have the IBPMI. That number came out at 10 a.m. That's a U.S.-Canadian report right there. And we go on over to U.S. CAD and check that out. 10 a.m. That number came in at negative 73, actually 47.5 billion. That's actually worse than expected. And so therefore the Canadian dollar did get hit on that. As you see, it rose when that number came in, and got a decent rise out of it. So I mean, for the Canadian dollar, it usually isn't just a massive mover, but for the Canadian dollar, and 98.92 moved on up to 99, almost 99.20. Pretty solid resistance point, 99.20. Moving on down from there, and so we'll see if it keeps on moving down. But I am expecting that it will, and we'll see that go ahead and retrace back. But that rise up was pure PMI, and that's pretty much it. So if we back out a little bit, we'll see overall that we got a trend down. And I mean, not only do you have right here a support level, but you also have a trend line that cuts right through there. All right, stay right there, folks. We'll be right back after this break.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Darrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally, we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
All right, folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And looks like I got a question right here from Paul in New York about spikes in the Forex market. You there, Paul?
Yes, hi, Darrell. How's everybody? Yes, Darrell. Last night I was actually trading on the Forex, and all of a sudden there was this huge spike. It looks like somebody rose up from the grave. I mean, is that computer trading? What happens when? I mean, and how would you hedge yourself on that?
It's almost always news. So, like Aussie dollar, like you see the spike right here?
Right. So
that's news right there.
Okay, but I checked the news, everything I could find, Bloomberg, and the live feeds and everything, and there was like, it was crickets. I couldn't find anything whatsoever. It just seems like maybe
what currency pair were you looking at?
The Japan U.S. dollar.
Okay, well, it may not be a Japanese news report. Okay?
Right.
It could be coincided with another news report, so you got a drop right there. Is this one you're talking about at 10 o'clock last night?
Yeah.
That big move right there? I mean, it's about 14 ticks.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you see something like that? It's quite a bit, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Currency will move like crazy. Yeah. That's what's great about it. So the way to hedge yourself against it, honestly, is to trade Nadex, man. You hop over and trade their spreads.
Okay, now, if you're long that, or actually, if you're short that pair at the time, okay. How would you hedge against that? Like, for example, is it possible to make money on both ends, on your short position and long position?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you just close out on the short when it goes down, and then if it goes back up, you close out on the long. On Nadex, you won't be stopped out, though. So, like, if you were long right here, okay, let's say you bought, like, right here. You're thinking, hey, okay, it trace down, hit a support level, you think it's going to bounce, okay? And then all of a sudden it does this. Well, if you're in Nadex, you don't have a stop loss. Your trade is your stop. So it goes down, whatever, you're down your 10 or 20 bucks, whatever you're risking, or, how many of your contracts you're doing. And then it moves back up, and you can still be profitable in the trade on the Nadex spreads.
Okay, what causes is that a computer generated liquidity? I mean,
you're never going to know. You're never going to know. So, it could be news. It could be, like sometimes you can explain, like the Aussie dollar one. I was like, well, that was Aussie dollar based upon their trade, balance report last night. Or not trade balance report, but their unemployment report last night. So as far as the yen, the yen didn't have any news announcements, like you said last night. And that really was not coincided. If we go down and pull up, another chart and try to line it up, you could look at some of the other pairs and see if you can see another spike happening at a similar time, to see if there's, maybe that's just a dollar-related spike. That's 1030. We didn't have anything there. So you can check out New Zealand dollar, but really, there's no big report that's showing what caused that. That could be a computer. It could just be a bank dumping off some stuff. They don't need it anymore. Or it could be a corporation that was hedging their dollar yen on a corporate transaction, and the transaction completed. And now that they've completed it, they're closing out their U.S. yen hedge position. Like if you go in and you make maybe you want to buy a whole bunch of widgets from Japan, okay? And they're charging you in yen. You have dollars, but delivery isn't going to happen for so many months. Like 6 months or a year or whatever, then you can go in and you could hedge the currency with the FX, okay? So that way you're locking in your dollar cost. So if the yen gets, basically if the dollar gets weaker compared to the yen, you don't end up having to come up with more dollars to meet the yen requirement of the contract. And so they could have fulfilled their, their contract, they got delivery, boom, okay, now they go ahead and they just cash out. So that way if there was any P or L on the yen, then that takes care of that for them, and they didn't have any FX transaction cost in the process. They were able to actually lock in their rate as far as dollars when they're doing international transactions. And maybe at 10:15, 10:20 last night, the wire came through, they were done, and they closed out their position. Maybe it was a computer that just dumped off some shares real quick. There's really just no way to know exactly what caused that little spike because there's nothing just fundamentally out there that you can see.
Okay, Darrell, suppose you're short premium at that time. You're selling like out-of-the-money premium pair on the U.S. dollar Japanese yen, and all of a sudden it spikes against you. What would be the perfect pair to hedge against that?
If you're selling premium, so you're selling what spreads? You're selling binaries. You're selling calls, puts. What are you doing?
I'm selling a Nadex binary, and out of the money, trying to collect premium on an out of money pair.
So an in the money. You're doing an in the money one then?
No, I'm doing out of the money.
If you're out of the money, then you're buying. Then you're not collecting premium. You're trying to make premium.
I'm selling premium on an out of money pair on a U.S. dollar Japanese yen. What would be the best way to hedge myself on a spike that goes in the opposite direction?
Close out if it hits your strike.
Excuse me?
You need to close if it hits your strike. Stay right there. What we'll do is I'll address this right after the commercial break. Stay right there, okay?
Okay.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Darrell Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Darrell Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, welcome on back here. Paul, you there?
So if I could just ask 2 questions before I hang up.
Yeah.
2 questions. On your trader tool on the front page of Tiger TV, do you have ways of hedging certain positions? Like if I want to go to sell premium on a binary, how would I hedge that? And the second question, did you play the Nadex this morning in anticipation of bounce back on Apple? And I'll just hang up and listen.
Well, I didn't use Nadex for Apple because they don't have Apple, but I did.
The NQ, the
NASDAQ.
futures.
Yeah, actually, I just sold the NQ, but I sold it around 11. I did actually trade the NQ. I actually went short the NQ, but I went short this morning, so like middle morning, so right here. So I went short the NQ. Now that's for in the money binary. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm looking to collect about $50 on the trade per contract.
Okay, but last night, I mean, it was, looking at some of the trades, there was tremendous opportunity if you had to, it's the Fibonacci retracement for Apple. If you go long on the binaries on your platform, when Apple hits, towards its low or to the Fibonacci low, if you go long on the binaries on the NQ, then it's a good trade.
Yeah, it was. It's definitely a solid trade. I mean, NASDAQ flew up, no doubt, this morning. So I'm just saying now I'm short. So, but on the NASDAQ, I mean, it's a short-term trade. I'm only short for a couple hours. So,
Okay.
But yeah, you definitely had a great long trade. I didn't take it this morning. I was actually on a webinar. I didn't actually take it. But I would have. I mean, it definitely. I mean, that's a long trade on every sense of the word. I mean, the pattern, everything lines up perfectly for a long trade. The Fibonacci levels, the deviation levels, like it all lines up. Definitely.
But how
as far as hedging inside of the members area, I do talk about hedging like forex and futures with spreads. To hedge on forex, there are some ways to do it. So now that Nadex has 7 different strikes, and they're going to be tightening those even more on the intra-hour binaries, like the 2-hour binaries, then you'll be able to hedge really well with those, and that's a good way to do it. Go in and take a little bit of that, put it in there. But if you're doing premium collection, you're talking about a strategy where you need to profit 70 to 80% of the time to even have a chance at breaking even on the trade. And at the same time, you need to limit your risk considerably. And so if I'm doing premium collection on binaries, one of my number one rules, and if you remember in the diagnostic area, you can ask like just unlimited Q&A. We just go back and forth. I go back and forth with people all the time. It's awesome. We get some good conversations going. But you go in there, and I'll always get out when it hits the strike. So like if I'm going in to collect $20, if it hits my strike, I'm out at 50. I don't care. So I'd rather just take the loss because I plan on over half my trades being profitable. I plan on like 80% of my trades being profitable. So if 80% of my trades are profitable, then that works a lot better than if I go in and try to take a whole $80 loss on a $20 profit potential.
Well, obviously, if you enter a hedge before you enter the primary collection procedure, I mean, then if it spikes up, then you're going to make money on your hedge, so it's irrelevant.
Well, except for now you're paying money out of your hedge. So if you're only collecting $20 and it costs you $5 to $10 to hedge it, then only now you're only making $10 if it doesn't. So you gotta. It's about putting all the math together. Instead of, I can enter a hedge on one trade, but how am I going to enter? What am I going to do consistently for my trade so I have a consistent system to get consistent results? What's my average win, my average loss, and how often do I win? How often do I lose? And putting all that together, then I can see if I actually have a viable long-term strategy that I can live on. So as far as hedging it, you just choose a short-term binary to hedge it. That'd be the easiest way to hedge it, but you'd have to know it's going to happen before it happens. Like when you get a spike out of nowhere, there's nothing you can do about that. Now, if you're collecting like $80 on a trade or $50 on a trade, you can hedge it a lot easier. If you're only doing premium collection, a deep in the money binary, and it's on binaries, it actually is in the money because it has to be in the money at expiration to be profitable. So on a premium collection, you need it to be in the money to be profitable. So a deep in the money binary would be where you'd actually you'd be looking to make less than $50, like 40 or 30 or 20. So it's harder to hedge a position where your profit's so low because you always have to pay for a hedge. So I don't know how much that helps, but I hope that the other way is you can roll it. You can always roll the trade higher. So
it does help. And a separate question, I don't know if you could speak with Tom, but in making the donations for the Salvation Army, can we do that to locations outside of Florida, like to the hurricane areas that got hit, like Staten Island, et cetera?
I know it donates directly to the Salvation Army in your name. I don't know the location, but I'm 100% confident if you call in that we can get you that answer. So
okay, very good. Thank you, Carol.
It's calling on the main number on there on TFNN.com. You bet. So thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Paul. And I think Max, are you still there? I think Max, you were giving us a call there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man, awesome. Thanks. Yeah, so you got a question on Forex as well, right?
Yeah, let's 3 quick ones. Let's start off with where your last call left off. You were talking about in the money, out of the money.
Okay.
With the Nadex spreads, is it like option spreads where if you finish a penny in the money or out of the money, you receive maximum reward or maximum loss? Or is it graded on where you finish in or out of the money with Nadex?
No, it's maximum. So at expiration, if you held to expiration, I can close before them, but if you hold to expiration, then the binary is basically worth $100 or 0. Okay? Now this binary, the spreads are totally different, but
that's what
binaries.
Spreads.
Are you talking about the spreads? Okay.
The spreads, yeah.
Okay, the binaries are 100 or 0, and if they're in the money, then they're worth 100. If they're out of the money,
yes or no. But with the
now
spreads,
the spreads are just like basically you could say they're just like a call or put in that sense. Okay, so that's cash settled.
Right.
So you go in and you buy, a stock for, it's a $100 stock, and you buy, we'll just say you buy $100 strike, okay, on, whatever, or we'll just say a 1,400 strike on the S&P, make it easy. So you have a 1,400 or 1,440 spread, and you buy it at, we'll just say 1,404, And then at expiration, let's just say the S&P closes out at 1402. Well, you're going to get 2 points back. Okay?
Through Nadex.
Through Nadex, yeah. And then let's say it closes out at 1406. You'll get 4 points plus your 2. If it expires at 1404 and you bought at 1404, then you're going to get all 4 points back. So it is relative to where you buy and where you sell or where it settles. And of course, the lowest it'll be is below the floor. Like, it can't go below the floor. So whatever your risk was, it will never be. The worst settlement you'll have is you don't get paid anything back, because they basically take, if there's $40 at risk because you bought a 1400 or 1440 at 1404.
Right.
So there's $40 at risk on one contract. Then they'll take the $40 out immediately. Okay, so you're 100% margined, 100% capitalized on the trade, and then at expiration they'll give you back whatever margin. If there's a loss, they'll give you back any difference in the margin and the loss there. Okay. And then if there's profit, they'll give you back the margin, plus they'll give you back the profit on top of that. So it's just like a regular in the money call in that sense at expiration that's cash settled.
Okay, so it's a spread, but it actually behaves like a call or a put versus a bull call spread or something like that, where if you finish in the money, you collect the premium, period, and it's done. Okay.
Right. Yeah. It's not like a vertical spread. Yeah. Right. So it's not like a vertical or a horizontal or calendar spread.
Right.
And then the calls and put, as far as at expiration, it's more like a call or put.
Got it.
I know it would be like a debit spread. Okay. I mean, the debit spread is going to work the same way.
Right.
But it'd be more, but it would be like a credit spread.
All right.
And then, but as far as like the nice thing is you don't have to deal with all the deltas, because I mean it's basically at a delta of 1, because it's always Friday expiration basically, because so the gamma is so high all the time, and you get to trade it just like you do an underlying. But I guess you already know that. Sounds like you already trading them.
Well, yeah. Well, no, I'm not trading Nadex at all. Actually, I'm going to be looking at it in the new year. Actually, over the Christmas holiday a little bit. I got some time off.
Okay.
But when I was talking about currencies, from your last caller, obviously I heard that you can trade currencies with Nadex. But if you could, I don't know if you could do this or not, walk through setting up maybe a dollar-euro trade. Dollar took off today, took off with conviction. If somebody gets up and says, okay, well, dollar's moving, walk through, setting up a trade, with, the euro-dollar. Can you do that maybe?
Yeah. Let me see. Let me pull something up for you real quick, and I'll put it all together. Okay?
All right.
Let's see here. There we go. And while you're doing this, too, by the way, as you're learning this, you may want to hop over and, like you said, holidays or whatever, so if you're going to be taking a couple weeks off, subscribe and get the 2-week free trial.
Right.
Because one of the things you'll notice is there's two things. One, you got the spread scanner, so you can go over here and find, like, your euro-dollar trade.
Right.
And it'll actually do all the math for you. And then the deviations. Okay, so just it helps a lot. Like, I had this thing built for myself because I was having the hardest time, honestly, picking the right spread in time. And I was like, Tommy's like, hey, we got to sell this. I was like, that'd be great. And that'd help me pay for the next one because I'm building a binary scanner too. So let's be building more tools.
Right.
So almost all the money I make on these tools goes right back into building more. So, because as a trader, I want all these fancy toys.
There you go.
So.
Well, they pay for themselves and it's good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's check out the euro dollar, and let me go here and do one more thing. All right, almost there. Just got to set up my chart. I had my one set up for the other. Okay. All right, so euro dollar trade. All right, it was getting hammered. Let's see here. Let me make my bar size a little bit different. That'll probably work. Let me go on one more thing here. Gotta love being on air and doing all these things at once, but that's okay. It's fun to trade, man. You gotta move. Okay, so you're talking about earlier, like it was running up, but then one of the things you're always going to be aware of is, I can talk about the fundamental reports, and it got pounded, whenever that report came out.
You talking about the euro or the dollar?
The euro did.
Yes.
So it got pounded on that, fell on down. What I do is I do it pretty simple. I have basically, when there's a new, like apex, basically a new higher high with a lower high after it.
Right.
Okay. If I'm looking to go long, then what I'll do is I'll wait for that to take place. And then what I'll do is I'll wait for basically a low since the A. So we got a low and then an entry, which will be when it breaks the previous bar's high.
Got it.
So I get in on that previous bar high. I then, my initial target, if I'm doing pure FX, or maybe even FX spreads, will be to, I could exit at the A or the X, which is the X is this where it breaks above the A bar right there. Okay.
Yeah.
But one of the big things, I'm going to be going for deviation levels. And that seemed to work really, really, really well for me. What I'll do is I'll actually target the deviation. So I'll go in here on euro dollar, and I'll say, you know what, I'm looking to hit, in this case, on the low side, 1.3028, and, today. And so that it's pretty flat now that it's moved down so far already. But 1.3028, and then 1.3067, and then 1. Basically I'm looking at all these levels, and at each one of those levels, I'm tightening my stop. So, and then on the scanner, I'm going to find out what trade's going to work best for me. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go, I want to buy or I want to sell the euro dollar. And if I want to buy it, then, I just basically find the one that has the most amount of time to expiration, ideally, the least amount of movement required, and ideal risk. So if I want to buy, this is a great trade. I got, let's see, 73 minutes. I have only 4 points to move to break even, which is huge on spreads. That's more important than your risk, is your movement to break even. Because $5 risk, if it has to move 116 pips, it's not a very good trade, So 4 pips to break even. So my premium at 4 pips. And then only $17 risk. So that's like a $17, stop loss, 17 tick stop loss on a trade. And then, max profit potential. I'm not really worried about my maximum profit potential on a trade. I'm more focused on my realistic profit potential. And that's where I'm going to look at the deviation levels. Now on the sell side, I'd go and I could look at, I got this one. This one has, it's trading at where the market's at right now, but it only has 12 minutes. This one has to move 4 pips down, only has $10 of risk. I can make $87 on it. I basically have another hour or so until the future or the Forex pit closes anyway. And so that would be like the ideal trade setup to go short right now. If I was trading in the morning, I know we're sort of going fast because just being what it is. Right here. So there's like my E to go short. So I'd be short the market up here at 1.3083. I also got short at 1.30, basically 86. That's pretty tight. So 89, 83. So all these were basically the same short levels, but just a couple ticks apart. So 1.3089. And if I look at all the strikes that were available earlier, I can clear out the filters here. So 1.30. Let's see here. We'll look at the long shorts here. 1.3089. So there's a 3070 that you could have chosen at 3.089, but it had a little bit of movement required. You also could have chosen one a little higher. Let's see, basically 3060, 3070. So you have to go through and pick each spread. That's why I use the scanner, because otherwise I'm filtering through each one. Right. But on every trade that I do, I'm looking for literally a drop, a pullback, an entry, and then I'm targeting a deviation level. That's how I do all my trades, all my directional trades. So, right. Or I'm doing a gap trade.
All right. Now, you're currencies trade overnight and through the weekend. Can you trade on Nadex after hours? Can you trade currencies on Nadex overnight and through the weekend?
Yeah, you can trade. You can trade them overnight. You can start trading at 6 o'clock. And if you go over to Nadex, I'll show you this real quick. This is sort of helpful. Under our products, range of markets. Under range of markets, hop over to FX, and then contract specs. So there's range of markets, and choose whatever market you want to choose. And then you'll actually be able to see all the hours. So they actually start at 3 a.m. on Monday. And then they're going until basically 5 every day. They open right back up at 6 p.m. So they're closed down for about an hour.
Okay.
And they open right back up.
All right, fantastic. Thanks.
Hey, you bet. Thank you for calling in. We'll be right back after this break.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
Join David White as he keeps you up to date on the latest tech stocks while he uses his Power Law Vector Indicator to identify the best trades. The Power Trading Hour, next on TFNN.
All right, folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And just had some great conversations, great questions. Appreciate the callers. Thank you for calling on in. And we're always looking just to, add more content, get more questions, figure out what it is that you're looking for. But yes, this is a great way to trade Forex. If you're into oil or gold or been wanting to get into it but a little bit nervous, great way to trade. You got your metals, you got gold, silver, copper. You got your energies like oil and natural gas. You got your ags, such as your corn and soybeans. And then you can go over to contract specs and get all the details on those as well. Forex, you got 8 different Forex pairs. You got Aussie dollar, you got euro dollar, you got pound dollar, you got US yen, euro yen, and pound yen. And you got US Canadian, and you got US franc. So quite a few pairs that you can trade. And your stock indices, you are able to go in and trade all the majors right there. You got the Dow, you got the NASDAQ, you have the Russell, and you have the S&P 500. In addition, you got the FTSE, you got the DAX, and you got the Nikkei over there with the Japan 225. So just a lot of cool different variables, a little different ways that you can trade. And definitely recommend checking out Nadex if you haven't already. All right, let's do a quick market wrap, see where everything is finishing up here at the end of the show. We got the S&P down a couple points. We got the NASDAQ up 18. We got the Dow up 17. We got the Russell up 1, and we got gold up 6. Coal looks like copper right now is down 1 point, and silver is basically still flat, same place it was before. Corn still down 1%. Oil is down a solid 2%. Oil's been a great trade today. Natural gas finally started to wake up and move. There it goes, down 1.5%. And I was talking about that earlier. It's like, natural gas is a mover. Wasn't moving much earlier, but it decided to go ahead and wake up. We got euro dollar down 111 pips on the day, being the big currency mover on the day. And then just wrap up, don't forget tomorrow. What is going on tomorrow? Well, tonight we got trade balance happening on Aussie dollar. So that's going to be your 7:30 trade tonight. Check that one out. And then tomorrow, though, you got Draghi is going to come out and speak at 5 a.m. Eastern time, so be aware of that. Over in Britain at 4:30, you're going to have the manufacturing production report come out of Britain. And Switzerland will have its foreign currency reserves come out. Wouldn't expect a whole lot of move on the U.S. franc on the foreign currency reserves because it's really not a posted expected number. It's just a number that does get reported. However, the manufacturing production can have a decent impact on the British pound. Draghi can have, who knows what kind of impact. You never know. It could be huge or not. And he's going to be, let's see, what is he going to be talking about? He's just doing a little speech. The anchor conference of Magyar Nemzeti Bank in Budapest. So he's doing, I don't know, some sort of conference there. So that probably won't be a big market mover at 5 a.m. Employment change, unemployment rate, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate, all that coming out from the Canadian dollar and right here in the United States. And so obviously being the one here in the U.S. being the big one, but the other ones will affect the currency pairs as well for the Canadian dollar. But expect massive movement, 8:30 tomorrow morning. That's a straddle trade. Okay, if it comes in anything different than expected, the market should move a lot. You can straddle currency pairs. You can straddle gold. You can straddle major indexes like the S&P, NASDAQ, Wall Street 30. Those are different ways to straddle it. Use deviation levels when you're doing something like that, so that way you have proper expectations and take profit when it hits those deviation levels. Don't let it sit there and go flat on you. And then you'll have one last trading opportunity before the day's really over, and that's preliminary University of Michigan Consumer Senate report coming out at 9:55 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. And you can trade the S&P off of that or the Dow or NASDAQ. But probably the S&P or Dow would probably be a couple of your best bets on that report. And that gives us our fundamental wrap for the week. Let's see, Saturday, China has some reports coming out, their CPI numbers. Sunday, trade balance out of China. Monday, nothing happening in the U.S. at all. Bank of England governor is going to speak, and man, it's amazing. So Monday, quiet day. And Tuesday, pretty quiet across the board, too. So we ought to see a few days of quietness over the next few days. The only thing we'll be listening for is the fiscal cliff. Everybody have a great day, have a safe day, and have a great weekend.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.